Behind the Eritrean Referendum, the voices Ethiopia was told to forget.
የኤርትራ ህዝብ የራሱን የወደፊት ዕድል በራሱ ለመወሰን ሰሞኑን ባካሄደው ህዝበ ውሳኔ ነጻነትን በመምረጡ ኤርትራ ከዛሬ ሚያዝያ 1985 ጀምሮ ሉዓላዊነቷ የተጠበቀ ሀገር መሆኗን አቶ ኢሳያስ አፈወርቂ አስታውቀዋል።
Welcome to Semonegna Spotlight. Tonight, we exhume the ghosts of a vote that reshaped the horn, silenced the brave, and birthed a 30-year curse.
ካብለው መዓልቲ ኤርትራ ልዑልነታ ዘረጋገጸት ናጻ ሀገርያ።
The referendum everyone celebrates, except those who saw the future. In April 1993, the world clapped. UN observers smiled. Foreign journalists filmed dancers on Asmara's streets, and 99.83% of Eritrean voters said yes to independence. The narrative was clean, beautiful, hopeful, but beneath the confetti, blood was drying on Meskel Square. Students at Addis Ababa University were burying their dead. Ethiopian patriots were being shamed, arrested, hunted, and silenced. Eritrean reformists were begging for democracy and vanishing. This is the part of the referendum the world never saw. The part Ethiopia was forbidden to remember. The part Eritrea was never allowed to speak about again. Tonight, we tell it. The Forbidden Cry in Addis Ababa. January 4th, 1993. Addis Ababa University erupts. Over 1,000 students march toward the Hilton Hotel, fists raised toward the UN Secretary-General Boutros Ghali, shouting, "Do not amputate Ethiopia. The Red Sea is our birthright." What follows becomes one of the darkest, most covered-up days of the transitional government police open fire. Tear gas fills Sidist Kilo. Bodies drop. Between 4 and 17 students die. No one knows the real number. Over 200 injured, hundreds arrested. Amnesty International calls it a possible massacre. State TV calls it a disturbance. History books call it nothing at all. But the students had warned, losing the sea is losing the nation. Nobody listened. Meskel Square, the day 30,000 Ethiopians defied the taboo. April 1994, Meskel Square. It becomes the largest anti-referendum protest in Ethiopian history. Over 30,000 Ethiopians gather. Buses come from Gondar, Bahir Dar, Desi priests, women, elders, students, chanting, "Assab Ayet, Eritrea, Ethiopia. The sea is our lifeline." Professor Asrat Woldeyes, the heart of the movement, takes the microphone. They amputated Ethiopia's arm without anesthesia. The wound is Assab, and we are still bleeding. The crowd roars. This was the day Ethiopians screamed the truth EPRDF wanted buried. Assab is not aggression. Assab is not colonial expansion. Assab is Ethiopia's right. Within days, Asrat is jailed, AAPO leaders imprisoned, opposition crushed. The issue becomes taboo for 25 years. The OELF warning, the domino that could come for all of us. Across Ethiopia, another voice rose, unexpectedly. The Oromo Liberation Front, OLF. Not usually aligned with Amhara nationalism, but in March 1993 at the Paris Peace Conference, Daud Ibsa signs a communiqué. "We reserve Ethiopia's historical rights over the Red Sea. This referendum does not bind future Ethiopian governments." They warned, Eritrea's secession would spark ethnic fragmentation. Ethiopia's economy would be strangled. The sea loss would destabilize the federation. Years later, every prediction came true. Nobody listened. Inside Eritrea, The warnings that could have saved a nation. While Ethiopia was silenced by bullets and prisons, Eritrea had its own suppressed voices. The LF warning: this referendum will not bring democracy. The Eritrean Liberation Front, ELF, the original independence movement, begged the UN, ensure multi-party inclusion. EPLF is monopolizing registration. Democracy must be guaranteed. They exposed $75 diaspora registration fees blocking ELF supporters. Only EPLF IDs accepted, media completely controlled, security forces intimidating dissenters. UN listened politely, then ignored them. Then came the fighters' uprising. June 1st, 1993, just days before independence celebrations. Hundreds of EPLF fighters seize Asmara ministries, banks, and checkpoints, shouting, "We fought for freedom, not dictatorship." They demand back pay, pensions, political pluralism, transparency. Isaias Afwerki promises reforms, then arrests 200-plus fighters and buries their movement. Eritrea never holds another election again. The referendum becomes the first and last vote in the country's history. The warning was clear: independence without democracy becomes captivity. Nobody listened. The taboo years. The sea vanishes from Ethiopian speech. Under EPRDF/TPLF rule, the phrase Assab becomes political dynamite. Mentioning sea rights gets you labeled chauvinist, imperialist, expansionist, anti-peace, anti-federalist. Opposition figures who referenced Assab are imprisoned, exiled, or erased from public memory. Pan-Ethiopianists, Afar leaders, Oromo federalists, all silenced. The taboo lasted from 1993 to 2018, a full quarter century where Ethiopia spoke of everything except the thing that defined its geography for 3,000 years. The voices that defied the taboo. A handful of Ethiopians refused to shut up. Asrat Woldeis, the sea is Ethiopia's soul, jailed until he died in exile. Bulcha Demexa. Ethiopia lost its coast illegally. Publicly attacked EPRDF in parliament. Lencho Lata. Assab was surrendered without negotiation. Accused the transitional government of betrayal. Getachew Mengist. The 1891 Menelik Italy Treaty proves it. Afar leaders, Assab is Afar land, not a bargaining chip. Their warnings predicted everything: Djibouti dependence, geopolitical blackmail, economic suffocation, renewed Eritrea tensions, strategic vulnerability. Nobody listened. 30 years later, the ghosts return. Today, Ethiopia is once again talking about the Red Sea, loudly, confidently, unapologetically. The taboo is dead. Diplomacy is active. Port negotiations are public. Young Ethiopians are reclaiming history. Old videos of 1993 to 94 protests are going viral on TikTok. The forgotten voices are being resurrected. Everything the students, APO members, OLF leaders, AFAR elders, and Eritrean dissidents warned has come true, and everything they begged Ethiopia and Eritrea to prevent is exactly what unfolded. A referendum with two truths. One truth: Eritrea deserved independence. A people oppressed for decades had the right to choose. Another truth: Ethiopia deserved a fair, negotiated maritime future. A 3,000-year civilization should not have been landlocked overnight. The two truths were not enemies. They could have coexisted. But extremists on both sides silenced the moderates, jailed the visionaries, buried the warnings, and a region lost its chance at peace. Wey Gud, fan. Behind the 99.83% yes vote lies the 0.17% who scream the future. Ethiopia ignored them. Eritrea punished them. History vindicated them. If the horn is ever to heal, these are the voices we must resurrect. Until the next revelation, stay awake, stay critical, and remember, the truth is never in the official version.
ዓለም ዛሬ ይስማ የቀይ ባህር አክሰስ ሰላማዊ በሆነ መንገድ ኢትዮጵያ ያስፈልጋል። 120 ሚሊዮን ህዝብ መቆለፍ ነውር ነው። ወይኛ ወይ ልጆቻችን ያሳኩታል። ጥርጣሬ የለውም።